morning, everybody. Hello. Good morning, Jutta.
Good morning, G.
So, hello, beautiful friends. I introduce you, Jutta, a senior instructor of the Universal Healing Tao of Taoist Master Mantak Chia in Thailand. So you are following Master Mantak Chia more than 35 years.
Mm.
How is it to follow a master like him?
To follow him is to learn about discipline, focus, and compassion.
Nice. Okay, so today we are going to talk about the orbit, the microcosmic orbit.
Mm-hmm.
What is it? What is it?
The microcosmic orbit is the core practice in the Universal Healing Tao system, which is an energy system about energy cultivation for our spiritual, for self-healing and for our spiritual development. So the microcosmic orbit is an orbit in us, and it's the first orbit, like that spins in our energy when we are created in the mother's womb, and it connects to all our energy centers. It develops all our energy centers in the body. So it actually begins at the navel and it goes down to the perineum, and then it goes up from the sacrum, coccyx, and then T11, and then opposite the heart, base the C7, base of the skull, crown. Here the mid-eyebrow, the throat, the heart, and down. So it's one orbit, it's one energy. And we also call it a reborn process, the microcosmic orbit. So it's basically like everything is spinning. The universe is spinning, like the planets are spinning around itself, and the planets are spinning around the sun. And so this orbit is spinning in us. It's like that.
Why it is important to let the orbit spin?
Because when first of all for our self-healing, because in the course of life often these energy centers, they are not balanced. Often the upper part, like the heart and the upper centers, they are too active, too much energy there, and in the lower part there is not enough. So when we spin the orbit, we create a balance. So we just have to spin it like in a meditative state and reactivate it to the point that it's actually always spinning, even so when we don't think of it.
So and what kind of transformation is the benefits?
Like the orbit, like as I said, it balances our energy center, and in the Tao we say it is a reborn process. Because when we are born, we have a lot of energy, and like when we are a little baby, and then a lot of energy, like the cells split very quickly and we grow, like quickly in 10 years, you have like almost a big body, so, and all the mind and everything is developing, so we have a lot of energy. However, when through the course of life, we lose this energy through negative thinking, through bad habits, and so on. We lose it, and we get less energy. So when we age, we have less and less, and then the body gets sick. So because it does have not enough energy, we need some help, because this and that is not working anymore. And then slowly, eventually, our soul leaves the body because no more energy, no more chi, no more life force in our body. Yes. So now when we move this microcosmic orbit, or when it's open, let's say like when the microcosmic orbit is open and it moves by itself, so you don't have to think about it, that it moves, then we always balance these energy centers in our body. And we also, it's like a transformation, because the energy from the lower part is moving up into the brain and is feeding our brain. And that's very important. It's very important because there are many problems occur, health problems, health issues, when this energetic orbit is not, has ceased to function. Like we don't get enough energy into the brain and into the center of the brain. And when the chi is not moving, blood is not moving, and it doesn't nurture the blood cells in the brain, and like many diseases can happen through this. Like for instance, also like demence, you know, like that we cannot remember, or that we have no energy in the brain and we cannot think. That is all related to not enough circulation, not enough oxygen, not enough nourishment in the brain.
Okay. And is it easy to practice? Can you show us?
Yeah, I mean, it's easy, yes, but the number one thing is that we calm the mind. Because the problem that we don't feel the orbit is that we are too busy in our head. Too many thinking, a lot of thinking all the time. And so number one is that we learn to calm the mind. And we do it with the exercise like of inner smile, smiling into our organs, and thinking about the positive energy in our organs. And then we have another very, very powerful practice, which is called the 6 healing sounds. And this is really a very transformative energy, so that it transforms the negative energy and we balance it with the positive, so we create a balance in us, so that we are not too extreme in the negative, because this is blocking the orbit, because this orbit is connected to the universal energy, and when we are too negative, we cannot feel it, but we don't know that we are negative. So that's the point. So that's why we need to practice the 6 healing sounds, and to look into our organs, to feel into the organs, to listen into our organs, and breathe into the organs, to experience what we have inside, And when it comes up, now we learn to transform it. We release it with sound, we release it through movement, we release it like with eye movement, to delete it, or we bring it down into the earth. So that is how we balance our internal energy, so that we can feel the orbit again.
Okay, that sounds very interesting.
Yeah, it's a meditative practice.
It's a meditative practice. So if we need more information, we can go to your website, and if we want to practice, you're teaching often this practice, right?
Oh yeah, sure, yeah. I'm doing a lot, yes.
Okay.
So it's very simple. You can start very simple by focusing on your navel and breathing into the navel. And then you go down about 9 centimeters, or like 4 fingers below the navel. We call it the ovarian and sperm palace, and focus on this point. Smile into it. And then you go down to the perineum and focus on your perineum. Breathe into it. And then we smile into the coccyx, the little tailbone, the end of our spinal cord. Breathe into it. And then we smile into the sacrum. You can also touch the sacrum and focus on it. And then we go right opposite the navel, between the second and the third lumbar, and we focus on this energy center, which is called door of life. Smile into it. Breathe into it. And the next energy center is opposite the heart. So it's a bit difficult to reach. It's right opposite, between the fourth and the fifth or sixth thoracic. And breathe into it. Smile into it. And then we come to the C7, the seventh cervical. So when we move the head forward, it's the biggest vertebra here. Normally it's the C7, it's the seventh cervical. Breathe into it. And then the next one is the base of the skull. So when you, on your skull here, you have like a, on the bony part you have an indentation, and that is called base of skull, base of the skull, or we call it jade pillow actually. And then we come to the crown. So we, on the tip of your ears, you go straight up where your finger meets. This is the crown. Breathe into it, smile into it. And then we come to the mid-eyebrow, between the eyebrows. And we go down. Tip of the tongue is always touching, the tip is always behind the front teeth. And when you move down, when you do it some time, you can feel like electricity, like you touch the battery with the tip of the tongue. So it's like electricity going down into the tongue. And into the neck. And then we touch here the throat center. And the heart. And down to the solar plexus. The solar plexus point you find when you, the tip of the sternum here, find it, the end, and the navel, and then you break in the middle, and that's the solar plexus point, our solar sun. And then back to the navel. So, how many times did your mind go away? How many times did you think something else during this little meditation that we just did? That's the point. So, the focus is very important. You have to learn to concentrate. And then, eventually, it's just like one flow. It just flows by itself. You don't have to do anything. It just does. When you think of it, it does flow. Yes. And with the practice, the orbit is getting bigger and bigger, and it's also a very strong protection, energetic protection.
Wow, thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
I feel very grounded.
Good, yeah. It's also grounding, yes.
So if you want more information, you can go to Jutta's website. We will talk about her books in a few minutes, but her website is www.juttakellenberger.com. www.jutta.com. I will put all the information at the bottom of the video. So now we take a break and we come back with sexual energy.
Oh yes.
Okay. Thank you. See you soon.